Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. So today's topic is a mindset, and we're asking the question, are you tough or stupid? So no one's going to want to be stupid, but man, aren't we all at various times in our lives. So it definitely happens. If there's a song from the old movies and TV shows titled Jackass with Johnny Knoxville, and it says, if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. And I used to like that song. It was a really funny song. But it brought to mind the idea of tough and dumb being together. And I wanted to give some recent kind of examples of some clients that I've dealt with where they thought they were being tough, but really, in my opinion, and it's an opinion, so they might not agree with me, but in my opinion, I think they were just being stupid. So, and they were using their toughness as like a badge of honor, but they were actually avoiding things that were actually really tough. So they were trying to pretend to be tough in order to avoid something that was even more challenging. So let's go through those examples, and then let's ask in our own lives, okay, myself included, where am I being tough and where am I just being stupid? So I had a client recently, and if they listen to this, I apologize for the maybe shock of this message to you. However, hopefully it comes with hopefully you can listen to it with an open mind. So I've been stupid a billion times in my life. So I'm well aware that I'm stupid at times. Now, they did come at times when I thought I was being tough. So like I've had times where I was injured before. I was tired of being injured, tired of my body being, a weak piece of crap. So I added more weight onto something, did something I shouldn't have done, and got another injury. And then I was like, damn it. So that was stupid. So I've also had times where, work harder, not smarter. I did the wrong way of doing it. So you should work smarter, not harder. But I was working harder because I didn't want to address the things that were super really challenging for me. I'd rather just work harder at the things I already knew. So that was definitely the first couple of years of the business. So I thought I just needed money to come in because bills were needing to get paid. So I just worked harder and harder and harder, got up to 50 hours of clients a week, was doing all the training plans, all the nutrition plans. I was doing the financial stuff, the maintenance stuff. I was everything that you need to do to make a business run. I was doing all of it. I was exhausted, worn out, damn near dead. And everybody, including my clients, were telling me I needed to charge more because for the quality of service I was providing, I was lower than everywhere else in the area, and they felt like they could tell that it wasn't going to be sustainable, and they were kind of telling me like, hey, for what you do, people don't do it for this little bit of money. Like, people charge more, so charge us more. And I actually had clients asking me to charge them more so they could feel better about me possibly staying in business. So that was dumb. That was me being stupid because I thought I wasn't worth the money. Maybe I needed to just kind of prove myself more. And I had lack of confidence. And it was scary to increase the money because I thought it would maybe, get rid of people and I'd scare people away in a sense. And all of a sudden I'd go out of business. Well, I was going to go out of business anyhow, trying to run a business at like 70, 80 hours a week. It wasn't going to be sustainable long term. I was never going to have a relationship, never have kids, never have outside of work life. So I was being stupid by continuing to work my ass off at cheap prices and not even kind of streamlining my work, figuring out better ways to kind of just monetize my knowledge. So I was being stupid, and I've been stupid in many ways, whether it's training, whether it's nutrition. So I've done challenging goals to myself where I knew it was stupid, but I had to finish the goal because I had set the timeline. So I knew something was dumb 6 weeks into it, but I had agreed in my mind to do it for 12 weeks. So even though I knew it was detrimental, I still had to kind of finish out the other 6 weeks. And you could argue it built mental toughness, but I could have done a bunch of other things to build mental toughness, and it may have built more mental toughness to learn how to walk away from something that was hurting me rather than to stick with it, quote unquote, to the end or stick with it just because. So there's a lot to be learned in those moments, and I've been through my fair share of them. So I'm going to give some client examples here, and I just want this to be a moment where maybe you reconsider what you consider to be tough and see if there's an area of your life that you can become tougher in and stop hiding from it. Okay? Now, I hope I'm doing this in my life, and I try my best to do it every day, and I'm getting better and better, but I am absolutely one of the people that can be called out on this. So hopefully I don't sound like I'm coming up from, talking on a soapbox kind of thing. So I had a client recently. They told me that in a roundabout way, through a conversation, they said such and such exercise had been hurting their knee. And I said, well, why are you doing that? Like we've talked about rehab, we've talked about injury before, we've talked about how you shouldn't work through joint pain because you're just going to cause inflammation, you're just going to cause a bunch of bullshit problems that we had to go through the last, X number of months to fix. So in my mind, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why would you do that? And they said, well, you know me, I have good pain tolerance, I'll put up with anything. And I'm like, no, you dumbass. So you don't, this is not pain tolerance. This is being stupid. And at the same time, this person isn't following their diet correctly. So they're not measuring the foods the way they should measure them. They're not eating the right foods at the right time. And previously I'd learned they were actually eating extra meals at night because they were kind of hungry and they felt, woe is me and I need to have food, and they were doing other things during the day that weren't on their plan, but yet they were swearing that they were following the plan. But they weren't actually doing what's on the damn plan. They were adding shit to it and modifying it. So they were using it as a reference, but they sure as hell weren't following it. So they didn't have the mental toughness to follow the nutrition plan correctly. But yet they thought they were mentally tough because they could handle some knee pain for 5 or 10 minutes a day. That's absolutely ridiculous. Why the hell would you do something that hurts your knees, okay, and call yourself tough, but yet you won't do the thing that actually helps you reach your goal of following your diet correctly? So people will go into the gym and they'll bust their ass for a good, solid, hardcore 1-2 hour workout. And then they go home and eat like jackasses. And they think they're tough human beings. You are not tough. It is much, much, much harder in life to just do what you're supposed to do in all areas. Don't do above. Don't do below. Just do what you're supposed to do in all areas. That is the hardest freaking challenge of life, in my opinion. Everybody can go hardcore, go crazy in 1 or 2 areas that they actually like, or that gives them the self-pleasing kind of martyrdom kind of belief that they want to have. Like, I'm better than everyone else because I suffer in this way. Bullshit. Okay? Just do everything you're supposed to do the way you're supposed to do it and shut the hell up. That is a much harder life. That's a tough human being. The toughest people I know don't talk. The toughest people I know don't stand out above everybody else. They just do what they're supposed to do, and they do it every damn day, day after day after day, year after year after year. They never complain. They never bitch and whine. Maybe every once in a while they do. But for the most part, they just do their shit and they move on. That is a tough human being. So trying to push yourself through some kind of joint pain, which you know is dumb, and then break on your diet later on, which is weak, okay? Don't use the knee pain to consider yourself tough when you know you're weak in other areas. So I've had clients where, like client recently, they're on a rehab style training, and they did exactly what I just said I did earlier in my life. So, and I knew I was stupid then, and I'm telling them they're stupid now, is they have a weight limit on exercises that they're supposed to stay within. So, and almost all the time I hear, well, I was feeling really good in that day, so I just kind of see if I could do a little extra 10 pounds, but it didn't hurt anything. I'm feeling fine. No. That's the same stupid bullshit overuse behavior, okay, and abuse behavior that led you to have the problem in the first place, which is why we set up the whole damn program. So you don't break from the program, because you had a good day. You don't break from the program if you know the program is set up correctly for you. Okay? You are not tough because you lifted more than the program that day. It would be much tougher to walk away on a good day to ensure that you don't have bad ones. If you wonder why you always have good days and bad days and good days and bad days, because you overdo shit on the good day. So then you're too damn beat up to do what you're supposed to do on the bad day. You can't get in what you need, and therefore it becomes a bad day. Just try to have an above average every day. Do that. Don't go for good. Just go for what you're supposed to do. But again, do that every single day. That is true toughness. Showing up when you're supposed to show up. Do what you're supposed to do in all areas of life. Okay? Another person tell me that they, work crazy long hours. Well, I had to do this and this, took me 12 hours on Sunday, so I didn't get any time to eat. No, that is not toughness. That is stupidity. You are being stupid. Okay? It was easier for you to wear your badge of honor and, I work, I'm a hard worker. I like to get up in the morning. I just like to get moving. I don't want to waste my time eating. Okay, well, how about you waste your time dying, you dumbass? Like, it's ridiculous hearing this stuff. Now, I'm getting probably really aggressive and I've probably insulted everyone by so far. But it's so frustrating. So frustrating. Because people have these things that they lean on to believe they're tough when it's absolute bullshit. The toughest thing is to do what you're supposed to do. Do it every day and make balance in life. You know why it's tough to balance life? Because life is not balanced. Life does not happen evenly every day. So for you to do what you're supposed to do every day and be consistent in yourself amongst a world that is inconsistent, that is tough. But that is a sign of true toughness. Can you do what you're supposed to do every day, regardless of what life throws at you? Don't ride the waves, okay, so much as making sure that you get your consistency in. Now, to be consistent, does that mean that sometimes you have to modify something from happening at 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. one day? Yes, okay. I'm not saying you can't like modify and work with life, but you can't let life dictate you. You have to work within it. So, for example, a person who doesn't eat well and doesn't exercise because they had crazy long hours. Okay, you're mismanaging life. Especially if the activity you did was self-chosen. Holy shit, does that make me mad? When somebody's like, I couldn't get my food in because I had to do this, this, and this. I'm like, you chose to do that. It wasn't like you had work, and work said do this or you're fired, and then you can't afford to cover your cost of living for you and or your family. You chose the activity. You could have also chose to take a 5, 10, 15, 20-minute break to put some food in your face. Oh my God. It's so frustrating. So, are you being tough? Okay? Or are you being stupid? Are you doing more of the things you already like to avoid the things you already know that you don't like? Or the things that you feel inadequate in? Wouldn't it be a tougher human being to say, you know what, I suck at this thing? Instead of me avoiding it for the rest of my life, let me tackle this. Let me finally figure this out and conquer this. That is toughness. Not hiding from it. Okay? If you've eaten like a jackass for 50 years of your life, and then you say you're too busy working really hard to eat right, okay? It's tough for you to eat right. Do that. That makes you tough. Fix the thing that you have not done right your entire damn life. Okay? So we need to ask ourselves, what is your toughness costing you? Is your toughness costing you something that would be beneficial? Is you being tough and working crazy long hours but eating like a dumbass? That's going to cost you your health. You will have worked yourself to the grave. Congratulations. Now, I know this sounds really mean. Could your work have been awesome? Could it have been beneficial to other people? Yes. Okay, it might have meant a lot. It probably gained money that you needed for your family. There was benefits to the work, otherwise you wouldn't have been doing it. So I'm not saying don't work. I'm saying find a balance. Be tough enough to find the balance. Not to just let one aspect completely go, especially when it's your health, your physical health. So what is your toughness costing you? Are you that person that always breaks your rehab protocol because you want to be tough and hardcore and, I don't want to be this injured, lazy bum that everybody thinks, oh, he's so weak, he's such a baby, he's always crying about this and that. And then every time you break your protocol, you get injured and you stay in that damn role that you think your toughness is going to bring you out of when your toughness is just making you stay there. Can't we see this? Okay? If you're suffering through crazy hardcore workouts, but then you're not following your diet, okay, you being so damn tough to train your ass off and I never miss a workout or I never give up when things get hard, oh yeah? Why have you given up on food? Why have you given up on your nutrition? Come on now, get real. Recognize the truth in where you're at in life. Recognize the truth in your decisions. Are you being tough to avoid something that you find tougher? Are you lying to yourself? Are you hiding from something? What is your toughness costing you? Okay? Now, if you're asking yourself to be tough, to get rid of old bad habits, so I'm going to be tough on myself and I'm going to make sure I eat right every single day. So that way I can finally learn what I'm capable of. Well then, yeah, of course, that's awesome toughness. Like, that's what we want right there, Toughness to start to establish consistency in nutrition. Toughness to start to establish consistency in training. Maybe consistency in relationships. Whatever it might be, if it's toughness that is making your life better, if it's toughness that is making your character better, that is the toughness we want. So is me being tough in this moment making me a better person? Or is me being tough in this moment so I can hide from something that I actually find tougher? That's what we want to ask ourselves. Am I being tough in this moment for the betterment of me? Or am I hiding from something? What is it costing me? Okay? So if your toughness is costing you physical health, you might want to reconsider it. Find another way. Find some balance. If your toughness is costing you relationships that you say you want, sometimes we do have to get rid of relationships if they're detrimental or bad for us. Okay? That's fine. That's one thing. That's a wholly different thing. But if we're talking about toughness, maybe you want to eat perfect. You want to train perfect. But it isn't the best way for you to be a good spouse. It isn't the best way for you to be a good parent. Maybe you have to reconsider. Maybe there are some standards or rules or ways in which you can change and modify your nutrition and exercise to find a balance between everything. That's what we want to look at. Okay? So, be real with yourself as much as you possibly can. Stop and ask yourself, what is my toughness in this moment costing me? What am I trading? Am I trading something that would have been good for me? Then I might want to reconsider. Okay? So, are you being tough or are you being stupid? Now, hopefully I didn't totally tick off everybody. So, the idea of this podcast is really just to kind of raise awareness of what true toughness is. True toughness is just doing what you're supposed to do every day. Trying to remain consistent in emotions, remain consistent in efforts, remain consistent in your responsibilities. Okay? Remaining consistent in an inconsistent world. That is tough. So just think of this, okay? True toughness is just doing what you're supposed to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Just show up every day and get done what you're supposed to do. So don't get lost in trying to be the tough guy or the tough girl and trying to wear a badge of honor or martyrdom. Don't try to impress other people. Just do what you know to be the right thing in every moment. And the more often you can do that, the better life you're going to live. Okay? So hopefully this helped. If you want to send me an email to tell me to go screw myself, feel free to. If you do need help, maybe, and you have kind of like a self-defeating cycle going on with a toughness kind of belief, reach out to us. Our email is brutalironGym@gmail.com, and we'll help you out, okay? We'll talk you through it. We'll try to find some maybe alternatives. So if you need to find a different way to eat and exercise, if you need to find a different way to have relationships, if you need to find a different way to live life in order to create a better balance, we're here to help. So our email is brutalironGym@gmail.com. We're here to help. Just reach out. Let us know what you need. Cool. Okay, if you like the podcast, please share it with family and friends. The more people we help, the happier the world will be. Also, if you like this information, you can find more from us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Brutal Iron Gym. And if you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. The podcast is for you, so we want to know what you want to learn about. You can tell us at our email, brutalironGym@gmail.com. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening. And thank you for watching.